Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about why so many people are stuck in life, right? And when I mean stuck as it relates to getting above the 80%, getting into like the top 20% of human beings, right? And I'm speaking primarily from like an economic perspective, right? So a lot of us who are stuck in the 9-to-5 rat race, right? I'll tell you from just experience being in the rat race, being set to a schedule, right, where you go in, you do the same job, work with the same people, right, you get the same amount of pay per hour 5 days a week for 9 to 10 hours a day. That right there is, I would argue, between 50 and 75% why most people can't get ahead, right? And think about it, right? Let's say everyone had a fair chance of being an entrepreneur, right? It would be really easy for people to be entrepreneurs, right? Or be business owners if they had all day, right? They slept perfectly, right? They woke up, they could start their day at 8, right? And from 8 to 4, they weren't bothered by anybody. They didn't have to be at a job. They didn't have to deal with certain things, right? And they had a free schedule, right? It would be easy for everybody to be a successful entrepreneur, a successful business owner, a successful influencer or whatever, right? If that was the case, right? But guys, that's just not how the life works, right? Most people get stuck. Most people suffer because their job holds them back, right? And if you're someone who's watching this right now and you feel like your job is holding you back, right? I'm not telling you to quit, but just understand that if you're unable to figure out within at least the next 5 to 10 years how to manage your time, right, when you get off work and allocate that time towards something that's going to make you money, right, via digital products or via your own business, right, brick and mortar or online. If you don't figure out that, right, just understand that like this is what your life's going to be, right? And I'm going to be honest, I have 2 days off a week, just like pretty much everyone else in the world who works. And on my days off, right, like there's so much like freedom and peace and joy for the most part, right? Like I'm not bothered by anybody. I get my sleep, I exercise, I get out in nature, right? Like I get sunlight. I'm able to just be, right? I'm able to be free. I'm able to just kind of like relax and do my own thing, right? Just be who I want to be, right? Come on here, make YouTube videos, do whatever, right? Spend time with my girlfriend, spend time with my family if I want, right? And I'm like, you know what, man? Like, imagine if I was able to do that every single day, 7 days a week, right? It would be easy to probably take off on YouTube, right? It would be easy to start to make more money, right? But here's the thing, right? I gotta pay bills just like everyone else, right? I gotta pay bills, I gotta eat, right? I have to put food in my mouth. I have to put food on the table. I have to keep the lights on, right? So most people get stuck because they use their job as an excuse, right? And one thing that I don't want you guys to do is like use your job as a reason as to why you can't be successful, right? Because it's easy to like get home from your job and like sit there and like self-pity and sit there and wallow as to like how it like life sucks and how the system's set up to suck, and how it's set up to keep you in a low vibration, how it's set up to keep you fat, sick, pissed off, stressed. The list goes on, right? So one thing you don't want to do if you're trying to get out of the rat race is use the rat race as an excuse, right? You want to look at it primarily from an objective lens and just look at it like, hey, this is just where I pay, this is how I keep myself alive, right? And one thing I can say is that if you're able to just keep yourself alive, right, and stay somewhat sane, like, when I get home, guys, I come out here in nature, right? I take a cold shower. If it's cold, it's hard to do now in Florida, but I get out in nature, I walk, right? If I have time, I'll go to the gym, right? But when I get home, that's when I exit the matrix, right? And that's the mindset you have to have, right? You're in the matrix for 8 hours, right? You get home and you have maybe 4 to 5 hours, right, where you exit, right? And you got to look at it like, dude, these 4 to 5 hours are the make or break hours between me getting to where I want to be, me escaping the rat race, and me staying in the rat race, right? And I've mentioned this a lot, but a lot of people, when they get home, bro, like the pain of working a job, the pain of being under someone else, the pain of taking orders from someone, the pain of dealing with stress, dealing with things that are just petty, that's, for a lot of people, it's not enough to get them to change, right? For me, I'm gonna be honest, it's enough to get me to change, right? Like the things I talk about a lot when it comes to your job, like dealing with a shitty boss, dealing with annoying workers, dealing with long hours, dealing with call outs, right? Having to stay extra hours when it's time for you to leave, right? Like all of this, right? It all culminates to give you so much pain that, you know, and then when it happens every day, like, because everyone works pretty much 5 to 6 days a week, right? It's like every day, right? It's like that pain's getting reinforced. And it's like, bro, how do people not have enough like heart and will and understanding that, like, yo, if I don't like do something about this when I leave my house, or at least take the steps to get past this and, you know, do something else and get into a better life circumstance, and how am I gonna not experience this, right? I'm just gonna keep experiencing the same pain 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, over and over and over again, right? And that's why I say most people's lives get stuck at food and shelter, right? Maslow, he was the inventor of the hierarchy of needs, right? And then, so the hierarchy of needs is basically like the levels of like human development, right? So you have food and shelter, right? That's the primary need. Then you have safety, which is like so food and shelter, right? Like if you don't have food and shelter, you're dead, right? Well, you're not dead, but it's going to be hard for you to survive, right? So food and shelter is like where most people are. And then safety is like your money. So you're concerned about your, you know, like your job and everything, right? And then most people don't get past those two levels, right? Because then you have love, which is like friendship, romance. Then you have achievements, like whatever you're able to achieve that's noteworthy. And then you have your true potential, which is like everything you've been able to develop with your career, your fitness, your family, and then your spiritual development, right? So most people don't get past food, shelter, and safety. Most people are stuck in a hamster wheel of just surviving. You got to look at your life like, yo, human beings, I know that on a relative level, we're animals, right? And we have to do things to contribute to the tribe and survive and, you know, do work. We're here to work, right? So I'm not saying that you're not supposed to work, right? But at the end of the day, right, if you're someone who is highly intelligent, right, you have a high IQ, you have some curiosity, you have some inquisitiveness into life, you want to know more, and you look around and you're like, dude, all these people at my job right now, they don't know shit about anything. They don't know shit about health. They don't know shit about human psychology. They have no idea about anything related to economics, right? How to invest your money, right? Where the rich invest. They have no idea about anything when it comes to spirituality, meditation, yoga, fasting, right? Like third eye development, like enlightenment. Like there's so much to life. And it's like, bro, so many people are just, they don't have any depth at all. And it's like someone who works a job, right? I can speak from experience. Like I know this. You can see it from, like I'm passionate about this because I know it to be true. Like everyone around you, you got to look at it like, yo, you're in the, right now, if you're working a job, it's not that the people around you are bad people, but you are effectively, if you're at a job, right, you're working minimum wage or you're in that environment, maybe you're a manager or whatever, bro, if you're like making really anything under $100,000, $80,000 to $100,000 a year, if you're making anything under that, if you're making between like 35 and 60, bro, you're in the harvest of like shit humans, right? And one thing you have to realize is like, bro, if you're gonna reach your potential, you gotta ascend out of that, right? So it doesn't mean that you have to quit your job right away, but you gotta start taking steps, right? Via education, via investing in mentors, via good habits, right? To get yourself some momentum so that in a few years, right? However long it takes you, that's not the point, but you are able to get out of that and then reach your full potential, right? Because once you quit, like I said earlier in this video, once you're able to leave your job, bro, it's like that's like 50, like I said, it's like 50 to 75% of the battle, right? So yeah, it might take the longest, right? But think of it this way, right? I'm not saying life's ever going to be easy, because I don't know. I haven't been able to quit my job, right? But I'll guarantee this. I guarantee that if you quit your job and you're able to focus your energy on what you want to do, I guarantee you'll be more successful in that thing than you would be if you stayed at your job, right? And continue to work your job. So that is really the goal, right? I mean, everyone has to start out, you know, doing the thing they want to do on the side. But you have to realize that, dude, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're going to be trapped with these human beings, these low developed human beings forever, right? And it's not that they're bad. Like I said, it's not that they're bad people. That's just what it is. Like, people get placed where they're in life, bro. People just are where they are because of their actions. Some of it's IQ, some of it's genetic, but for the most part, bro, you want to try your best to surround yourself with better people, right? And I think it's very important to hire mentors, right? Like, I'm training right now with someone who's been through years of experience of the kind of path that I want to go down, right? So, you know, as someone who's on the path, right, one thing I can tell you is if you're struggling, right, and you need guidance, because there's a lot to know, right? And the people, unfortunately, around you in your job don't have a clue as to what to do as it pertains to business, as it pertains to investing, as it pertains to your health, as it pertains to relationships, right? Most of them are actually doing the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Most of them are unhealthy. Most of them are poor. Most of them have shit relationships. Most of them are, you know, overweight, right? Bro, the mentors and the people that are going to lead you to the life that you want are online, right? So it's rare that you find someone in person that actually has it all together. Like, I really haven't met someone in my life, in my personal life, in my 25 years of life, that I can say, like, hey, I want to go down that exact path. Everyone I've had to learn from has been online. So guys, you have the internet, bro. You have to hire people, right? And I'm not telling you who to you know, seek mentorship from, and that's totally up to you, and totally is going to differ based off of what you want to do. But you can find people that will help you, right? I mean, obviously there's a paywall, but you got to remember, right, like, paying for wisdom, paying for knowledge, and paying for accountability is going to get you a lot farther in life than doing it on your own, right? Like, we try to do things on our own. I've tried to do things on my own in the past, and I've gotten nowhere, right? So, you know, last year I hired a mentor, right? And my progress and my development has got a lot better. And I noticed, like, hey, like, I'll probably be able to do what I need to do with this guy because he's been through it, right? So, you know, never shy away from seeking help. Like, especially as guys, like, we have such big egos. It's so funny. I'm kind of going on a rant, but I talked to my friend the other day. I'm like, bro, like, because he's into day trading. Like, I've mentioned him a lot in my videos, but he's like, bro, like, I don't want to hire a mentor because when I become successful, I don't want that mentor to say, oh, it was because of me. And I'm like, bro, like, that's just a story you tell yourself. Like, bro, we gotta like get less inflated. We gotta stop feeling so hard-headed and act like we're know-it-alls, man, because at the end of the day, it's masculine for a man to figure things out on his own, right? But bro, you have to sometimes put yourself in the mentor-mentee relationship, right? And sometimes you gotta be comfortable with being led by someone who knows more than you, right? And that's a big hit to a lot of guys' egos, because like I said, we think we know everything, right? We think we're we think we're so special that we don't have to seek out help. And it's like, that's just not the case. Like, there's things you just can't see that other people can see, that they can, you know, reveal to you, that's gonna help you, that you would have never thought of, but if you didn't seek out their help, right? So you know, like I said, I know this video is kind of a little more in depth, but just understand that if you're gonna get out of that shitty mix of human beings that, quite frankly, are not going anywhere and just, you know, doing slave labor to stay alive, right? If you want to get out of that, you're gonna need to put in extra work, right? You're gonna need to, when you get home, you're gonna have to do the thing that's a little difficult, that those 80% of people that you work with, right, that everyone works with, isn't willing to do, right? And if you're willing to do that, I can guarantee you that you're gonna make it out, because most people aren't willing to do it. So someone has to step into the 20%, 10%, 5% to lead some of the people in the 80% to get out of that, right? So it's all a pyramid. But you know, a lot of people don't want to rise to leadership. They don't want to take initiative, right? So that can be you, right? And it's easier to stand out in today's world than ever before, right? Humans are, I'm not trying to be a pessimist, but right now humans are at the worst. I think we're at our worst, right? I mean, not from a violence and killing each other standpoint, although there is still that, but as far as our, like we're the most laziest we've ever been by far, right? We're the most fat we've ever been. We're the most sick we've ever been. We're the most addicted we've ever been. And we also have the worst attention spans in history. So if you're able to analyze that and realize like, yo, I have an advantage over people if I just take action, if I just seek out help and I just implement what I'm taught, you'll be able to get out of the matrix in no time, right? And don't be, like I said, don't be so concerned about the time. Be concerned about what you can do every single day, and be concerned just about implementing what you've learned, what you're going to continue to learn. And I promise you, you will evolve as time goes, and you'll be able to reach your full potential, right? Because in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that's your full potential. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.